Hi everyone, Cinematic Nutshell here. Today I'm diving into an intriguing and chilling episode from Black Mirror Season 4 called Black Museum. As always, a quick warning, major spoilers ahead. The story begins in the middle of nowhere, where Nish, a young traveler, is waiting for her car to charge. She spots a mysterious building named Black Museum, a peculiar attraction claiming to house authentic criminological artifacts. The museum isn't open yet, but its owner, Rolo Haynes, appears and offers Nish a private tour as she's the first visitor of the day. With a sly grin, Rolo warns that the exhibits aren't for the faint-hearted, setting an ominous tone for what's to come. As they enter, Rolo takes a moment to inspect Nish's belongings, commenting on her snacks and bottled water. She mentions she's on her way to visit her father for his birthday and that he lives nearby. Their conversation is casual, but there's an undercurrent of tension. Once inside the main exhibit hall, Rolo begins showcasing the museum's unsettling collection, starting with a peculiar item, a device resembling an electronic hairnet. This, Rolo explains, has a dark and fascinating story. Rolo dives into his past, revealing that he once worked as a neuroscientist at St. Juniper's Hospital, a research facility known for offering free healthcare to patients in exchange for their participation in experimental trials. One of those experiments involved Dr. Peter Dawson, a talented but emotionally drained surgeon who had just experienced a devastating failure in the operating room. Rolo approached Dawson with an intriguing proposition, testing a new implant that could revolutionize medicine. The experimental device, developed by Rolo's team, was designed to transfer sensory information from one person to another. The team realized they could replicate this technology in humans, allowing doctors to feel their patients' pain without enduring physical damage. This, Rolo explained, could significantly improve diagnosis and treatment. Dawson, intrigued by the concept, agreed to test the implant. The device was attached to his neck, and its results were remarkable. Dawson became a medical prodigy, diagnosing and treating conditions with unmatched precision. His ability to feel his patient's pain made him extraordinarily empathetic and effective, saving countless lives. However, the implant had an unintended side effect. It didn't just transmit pain, it also allowed Dawson to experience pleasure felt by others. Initially, this seemed harmless, even enhancing his personal life, but as time went on, Dawson's fascination with the sensations grew darker. The turning point came when a poisoned senator was rushed into the hospital. For the first time, Dawson connected to a patient who was actively dying. The experience overwhelmed him, leaving him physically unharmed but mentally altered. The encounter introduced Dawson to a new level of sensation, one he couldn't resist chasing. His descent into addiction would have devastating consequences. Isolated and consumed by his addiction, Dawson discovers that self-inflicted harm brings him an unsettling sense of euphoria. This obsession drives him into increasingly destructive behaviors, pushing him to the edge of morality. His actions escalate to a point where he causes irreversible harm to another person, unable to resist the twisted allure of his condition. Back in the present, as Rolo concludes Dawson's story, he notes that this invention was only one of many experiments that blurred ethical lines, setting the stage for more grim tales to come. Rolo, visibly uncomfortable from the broken AC, accepts a bottle of water offered by Nish. They then move on to one of the most heartbreaking exhibits in the museum, a monkey doll. Haynes begins recounting its story. Jack and Carrie were a happy couple with a newborn son. One day, while Carrie was trying to capture a photo of her husband and baby, she was struck by a truck and fell into a coma. Despite regular visits from Jack, Carrie remained unresponsive. However, a breakthrough in neurotechnology allowed her to communicate using simple yes or no responses. Haynes approached Jack with an experimental procedure to transfer Carrie's consciousness into Jack's mind. This would enable Carrie to see, hear, and experience the world through Jack, allowing them to interact once more. Though hesitant at first, given the irreversible nature of the process, Jack agreed after Carrie signaled her consent. The procedure was successful, and Carrie could now experience moments like hugging their son, Parker, through Jack. However, the shared consciousness quickly strained their relationship. Jack began to feel a lack of privacy, while Carrie frequently expressed frustrations about his choices and actions. Seeking a solution, they consulted Haynes, who offered the option to pause Carrie's consciousness temporarily. Jack, overwhelmed by the constant presence, began pausing her for longer periods, which only worsened the situation when she was reactivated. Eventually, Jack began a relationship with another woman, Emily. Frustrated by Carrie's lingering presence, they sought Haynes' help to fully remove Carrie's consciousness. Since deleting her consciousness would mean its permanent end, Haynes proposed transferring her into a monkey doll equipped with a camera. The doll was then given to their son, Parker, as a keepsake. Unfortunately, the doll can only say two phrases, "Monkey loves you," and "Monkey needs a hug." Trapped in this limited form, Carrie grows increasingly frustrated and repeatedly activates the doll's voice. Emily, in response, warns her to stop or face deletion. Over time, Parker outgrows the doll, abandoning it and leaving Carrie isolated inside. In the present, Haynes reveals that this invention led to his dismissal, as it was deemed both inhumane and illegal. He also admits that Carrie's consciousness remains inside the doll, as deleting it would violate the law. The tour then reaches the museum's centerpiece, a holographic projection of Clayton Lee, a man convicted of killing Denise Stockley. Haynes explains that his company pioneered the process of transferring the consciousness of death row inmates post-execution. He approached Clayton with an offer. His consciousness could be preserved in exchange for financial support for his family. Despite initial hesitation from his wife, Clayton agreed, hoping the money would secure his children's future. After Clayton's execution, his consciousness was resurrected as a hologram displayed in the museum. The exhibit allowed visitors to pull a lever, simulating an electrocution that caused Clayton to scream in agony. While this did not physically harm him, it replicated the sensation, creating a disturbing spectacle. Guests were even given souvenirs, keychains depicting Clayton's distressed face, turning the exhibit into a macabre attraction. Haynes explains that the electrocution is limited to 10 seconds to avoid overloading the system. Exceeding 15 seconds would destabilize the hologram, potentially erasing the consciousness entirely. While discussing this, Haynes begins to choke, realizing he has been poisoned by Nish. She reveals that she sabotaged the museum's air conditioning to ensure Haynes would drink the water she offered earlier. In a shocking twist, Nish reveals she is Clayton's daughter. She explains that her father was innocent and had been framed, but efforts to clear his name were ignored. Over time, the museum attracted fewer visitors as protests and social media posts highlighted its unethical nature. Eventually, it catered only to wealthy individuals willing to pay extra to push Clayton's hologram to its limits, leaving him a shell of his former self. Nish shares how her mother, devastated by Clayton's fate, visited the museum and succumbed to despair, leading to her tragic death. Enraged, Nish takes her revenge. After Haynes dies, she transfers his consciousness into Clayton's hologram. She then pulls the lever to its maximum setting, subjecting Haynes to the full force of the hologram's capabilities while freeing her father's consciousness to rest. With her mission complete, Nish collects the monkey doll containing her mother's consciousness and a souvenir keychain of Haynes in torment. Before leaving, she disables the air conditioning unit, ensuring the museum is unusable, and sets it ablaze. As she drives away, Nish is seen conversing with her mother, whose consciousness shares the joy of their success. Together, they watch as the museum burns in the rearview mirror. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more videos.